Hello students, welcome to you all. In this session, we are going to learn a module from the chapter called as Selection Statements. But before move on to this chapter, let me revise a chapter what we learned in our previous sessions. In our previous sessions, we learned a chapter called as an operator. So let me revise the chapter called as an operator. You can see the slide. So in this chapter, we learned mainly about three things. The three things are the definition of operator. Second one is classification of operators. Under the classification, it's a various types we learned. So when we see the definition of operator, the definition of operator we can define like this. It is a small symbol which is used to do a coherent task. Coherent stands for some logical work. Due to that, we say an operator is a small symbol which do a logical task. Under the operator, there are two classifications we can define. The two classifications are on the basis of operands. On the basis of operands, various types of operators are there, and on the basis of usage, various types of operators are there. So when we see the first classification, that is called as on the basis of operands, there are three types of operators we have. The three types of operators are unary operators, binary operators, and ternary operators. When we see the second classification, that is called as on the basis of usage, we having 8 types of operators. That 8 types of operators are arithmetic, relational, logical, conditional, assignment, increment, decrement, bitwise, and shorthand operators. About these all types of operators we studied in our previous sessions, and now we move on to the next topic, that is selection statements. I already told in that one particular module we are going to learn in this session. So this is selection statements. Now the very first question mark it raises in our mind, that is, what is the meaning of selection statement? To speak about selection statement, I will share the flow of execution of a program, and that one I'll show with one example. So let me write one of the program. So the program, let me write. So I'm creating one object, one class. So the class name I'm giving as something ABC. So this is the class name, and one of the class we are creating now. So in this, I'm deleting entire part, and I'm creating one of the program, and the program is write a program. Here WAP stands for write a program to find a mathematical calculation, that is a plus b whole cube. Here the symbol, cap symbol, it is for degree. Whole cube is equal to, we know, a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b. This is the formula generally we use to find out a plus b whole cube. So a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b. So to get this answer, I am going to write a program. This is single line comment. We use single line comment, and every class should start with a keyword that is called as CLAS as a class space. I am giving class name is ABC because initially we give class name as ABC. In our previous sessions we learned every function name we defined with main. And here void is the keyword or a predefined data type which do not return any value to the function. For that sake we use void keyword. And main is the user defined word, and in spite of main we can give any other name also, any username you can give, but in previous sessions we wrote it as main only. That's why I gave main. And I am using two variables. Why? Because in this question two variables A and B are participating. Due to that I am declaring two variables. Say it is A is equal to 2 comma and B is equal to 3. So these are the two values we assigned into A and B, and I am declaring two variables for LHS and RHS purpose. A double space L is equal to initial value of double is 0.0 comma R is equal to, I am giving 0.0. The initial value of double is 0.0 D or 0.0. And next I need to calculate LHS value. LHS value is A plus B whole cube. To get this A plus B whole cube, we can write that statement in two notations. What are the two notations? Means first notation is we can write A plus B into A plus B into A plus B, or we can use a function called as a pivot W from a built-in class that is called as math. So I'm going to use the second representation, that is a math.pow. So due to that, L is equal to, I'm writing math is the class, and in that class we having a function called as pow, and using this pow I'm writing base is a plus b, and the degree we need to represent, degree is represented by separating with comma 3. So this represents a plus b is the base and 3 is the degree, so a plus b whole cube, and that calculation will do by pow function, and result will be stored in L variable. And coming to the RHS, you can see RHS in this case a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b. So the same representation I am writing here, a cube I can write like this also, a into a plus b into b plus 3 into a into b into bracket open a plus b. This is the Java expression representation. So that is a into a means a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b. That result will be stored in R variable. And to get the answer, I am using system class. System dot out is the object and print ln is the function of the system class, and we need to display LHS. So LHS is equal to this is the control string, and to separate the control string we use a plus symbol to bring the data from a variable. And the same thing I am copying, same thing I am taking. So this is the text, and this text we are copying in the next place, but this is RHS. So RHS is equal to, but we need to call from the variable R, and this is the end of the program. And finally 2 curly brackets we need to close, and one is for main function and one is for class. Now you can observe in this program. So in this program, very first when we compile this program, so compilation can happen in two notations. One is on this left pane you can see the button called as a compile. So when you click on compile, the program will compile without, if there is any syntax error it will be shown on bottom pane. If there is no syntax error, then program will be compiled. This is first way of compilation. And second way is the shortcut we can use. The shortcut is a Control plus K. I repeat, Control plus K button when you press, then automatically it will be compiled. So I am pressing Control plus K button. So when I press, there is no syntax error, so you can notice. Suppose here I miss the semicolon. If I remove the semicolon, once again if I compile, then it will show the error. So Control K, it states class do not found semicolon in this line. It is highlighting this line. So here you should give semicolon. So when you give semicolon, again when you compile, the no error will be shown on the screen. So after compiling the program, then you can see the execution. So in this, when you right click, it allows to create an object. So new space ABC, when you choose, the object will be created. So when you click on new space ABC, and in the name, user defined name we can use, but I am giving the existing name only ABC1. So when I click here, then the object it will be created. And when you right click on this object, it allows to execute that particular function that is called as void space main. So this function will execute by Java compiler. Let me show the flow of execution of that main function. So let me open the editor. So in this editor, once the compiler start to execute this main function, very first compiler checks this statement that is called as int space a is equal to 2 comma b is equal to 3. Once it checks this statement, then a and b, these two variables each gets 4 bytes of memory. Why 4 bytes of memory each gets? Because we declared each and every variable in integer data type. Integer is the predefined data type, and that data type provides 4 bytes of memory for each and every variable, and into that memory a holds 2 and b holds 3. But when the compiler refers the second statement is a double space L is equal to 0.0 comma R is equal to 0.0. Double is the predefined data type, and that data type provides 8 bytes for each and every variable. Here variables are L is one variable and R is another variable. So for each variable it provides 8 bytes of memory, and L holds 0.0 and R also holds 0.0. Why only 0.0? Because double data type initial value is 0.0D or 0.0. 0, anything we can assign. After this step compilation, then compiler refers the next step, that is L is equal to math.pow of a plus b comma 3. Here pow is the existed function or built-in function of the class math. Math is also built-in class. If it is any built-in class, that built-in class holds, it is stored in one particular library. So the library of this math class is, library is also called as a package. So the package of this math class is java.lang. Any built-in class, if we want to import into our program, then at the beginning of the class, at before of the class, at this situation, at before of the class, we need to write a statement called as import space java dot particular package dot star. We need to give that statement, but in this case I'm not giving any package. I'm not importing any package. Why? Because math class is stored in a package called as java.lang. Java.lang is the built-in package for any Java program. If it is a built-in package, then we need not to import at this location. Due to that, directly this math class will be imported into our program. So now in the math class, we collected POW function. The purpose of POW is to do exponential calculations. Now in this case, exponential calculations, you can see, yeah, you can see here. So I wrote a plus b whole cube. A plus b whole cube means you can write a plus b into a plus b into a plus b, or you can write math.pow of a plus b comma 3. Then what it happen means a plus b into a plus b into a plus b. So a value is 2 and b value is 3, which means 2 plus 3 into 2 plus 3 into 2 plus 3, which means 2 plus 3 whole cube it will be calculated. So 2 plus 3 it becomes 5. So 5 cube value is 125. This 125 it will be stored in a variable called as L. You can see in the BlueJ IDE, that is math.pow is assigned to a variable called as L. Due to that, L receives the value called as 125. Whereas in the second step, you can see next step when compiler refers R is equal to A into A into A plus B into B into B plus 3 into A into B into A plus B. In this case, compiler calculates this whole expression and its result it assigns into variable R. So in this calculation, A value is 2. So 2 into 2 into 2, 8, 3 into 3 into 3, 27, and 3 into 2 into 3, that means 18. 18 into 5 it becomes, bracket is 5, so 18 5s are 90. 90 plus 27 plus 8 it becomes a 125. So that 125 it will be received by a variable called as R. Here we declare the variable is R. So R receives 125, even L also receives 125. Due to R and L are declared in double data type, their receiving value always holds a decimal value also. So here there is no decimal value. Due to that, it ends with 0.0. Even here also it ends with 0.0, and L is holding 125.0. Even R also holding 125.0. And when the next step compiler refers, the next step is system.out.println of LHS is equal to plus L. So when this statement, when it executes, this is control string, LHS is equal to, that is control string, as it is same it will be shown on console, and plus L. L is the variable. In this variable, whatever the data is there, that data will be shown on the screen. So L is holding 125.0, so as it is it will be shown on the screen. Even in the second case also, RHS is equal to, we will get 125.0. Now we see the output. So output is so no syntax errors we can notice. And when we see the output of this program, so output we can say compilation is over. Now create the object for this class. So object creation is ready, and right click on this class, right click on this object and click on the main function. Then we see the output, LHS is equal to 125.0 and RHS is equal to 125.0. This is the execution criteria of this program. But when you observe this program, let me open the editor. So in this program, compiler is executing each and every line of this main function when give instruction to execute this main function. But at some situations, we need to ask the compiler to abstract some statements to not to execute. Here abstracting means hiding some of the statements. So for example, I don't want to execute this statement, rest of all the statements I want to execute. During that time, before of this statement, yeah, exactly in this location, in this location you should send some instruction to Java compiler. At this location, you need to send some instruction to Java compiler to not to execute this statement and the rest of other statements to execute. Such kind of instruction we can call it as a selection statement. So what is a selection statement? Selection statement means it is an instruction to the Java compiler. It is an instruction to the Java compiler to execute only the highlighted block and the rest of other blocks to be abstracted or hidden. Now, generally, selection statement is not a global module. It is a part of another module. That module is called as a control statement. What is control statement and what are the modules of control statement? Let me speak about that. Let me show one of the slide. You can see the slide, so you can understand the slide. So control statement is the global vote. Control statement is the global vote. So in this global vote, it having various modules. One is selection statements, iteration statements, and jumping statements. So selection statement is a part what currently we are going to learn. So under selection statement we are having three modules. One is if, else if, and switch. Again we learn one more module also in selection statement, that is called as else if ladder. So that is a part, it comes under else if. And next, when it comes to the iteration statement, this is the next module what we are going to learn. Iteration is also called as loop. Under iteration we having three statements, three examples. One is while loop, second one is a do while loop, another one is for loop. When it comes to the third module of control statements, that is a jumping statement. Under jumping statement there are four types are there, but one is a deprecated in JDK version. That deprecated jumping keyword is go to. Deprecated means it is a part of Java but it won't work in the Java program. That is go to, and remaining three are break, continue, and return. So altogether there are four jumping keywords are there. One is go to, break, continue, and return. You may ask the question, what is the meaning of control statement? Control statement means it is an instruction to the Java compiler. It is an instruction to the Java compiler to control the flow of execution. I'll show on the screen. To control the flow of execution. So the flow of execution, when it is a control, that flow of execution controlling is called as control statement. But when it comes to the selection statement, I already told, selection statement means on the basis of one particular condition, one particular block will be executed and other blocks will be hidden. Now let me share the examples of this selection statement. Under the selection statement, the first example we are going to learn, that is else if statement. What is else if statement? Else if statement means, you can see else if statement I'm showing. So else if statement is, I'm deleting this entire. So in this, yeah, so I'm showing the syntax of else if statement. So if, along with that we are going to pass some condition, and if this condition is a true, we will get true block output. This a true block output will be executed. This block will be executed. If this is false, then we will get else block. Now here else block, which is also called as a false block, this false block will be executed. So this is the syntax. Syntax stands for symbolic representation of if statement. So you can see, very first a compiler comes and it checks this condition along with the keyword called as if. Generally condition provides two types of outputs, that is boolean type of output, true or false. If the condition is a true, then the Java compiler executes this true block of statements. Suppose the condition is a false, then Java compiler abstracts this true block to execute. It executes a false block statement or else block statement. So when condition is a true block statements will be executed and else block will be abstracted. When condition is a false, true block will be abstracted and else block will be executed. This is the criteria to execute this else if statement. Let me give one example on this. So what is the example we can write? So example is, say the example I'm giving, the example is write a program to check whether a person is eligible for uh, teenager or not, teenager or not, or we say whether a person is a teenager or not. This is the question. So write a program to check whether a person is teenager or not. So how can we say the person is teenager or not? The age belongs to 13 to 19. The age from 13 to 19, that age we can call it as teenage. Why? Because every number ends with the sound called as a teen. That's why that age is called as teenager. To get this, so in this main function, I am declaring a variable. The variable is int space age is equal to, I gave something 17. This is compile time of inputting, and I am giving a condition. The condition is if suppose age is greater than or equal to 13. This is the first case, and logical AND operator I am using, age is less than or equal to 19. When this condition is true, then we say system.out.println, we give the person is teenager when it is true, so we give it as a teenager. Suppose the condition is false, then we give in else block. In else block I am typing it is a not a teenager, so the person is not teenager. Now you can understand, you can observe carefully. So when we compile this program, very first compiler provides a memory for age variable. Age is at 17 declared. So in the place of age, the compiler substitutes 17. 17 greater than 13, yes, it is absolutely true. 17 less than 19, it is also true. When all the conditions are true, then only this logical AND operator, I am highlighting this one. So logical AND operator, how it is going to execute means, when all the conditions are true, then only the true block will execute, that is if block. Any one condition is a false, then it executes else block. Now here we given 17, due to that both two conditions are true with 17, so that we will get the output that is called as a teenager. Now you see compilation. So compile the program, there is no syntax error, and go to the class and create the object. So object is going to be ready. So object is ready, and right click on this object. So when you right click on main function, when you execute, you will get the output that is called as a teenager. This is the output. You may ask the question, how can we clear this console? How can we clear the output screen? For that also same shortcut, Control plus K. I am pressing Control plus K, that output will be delete. So again what I am doing is, you can see the false output I'll give. So when you open the editor, text editor, and in this instead of 17, I am giving, say it is a 27. When I give 27 greater than 13, yes it is true. But 27 less than 19, this condition is false. In AND operator, any one condition is false also, we will get else block or false block output. The false block output is not teenager, so we will get output not teenager. Let me compile this program. So when I compile here, you can see at bottom, so there is no syntax error, and close this and create an object for this class. So when we create object, object is ready, and when we right click, and you can see on screen with only one output, that is not teenager. Why? Because in previous case we cleared the console, so we got not teenager. Why? Because we given age is 27. So this is the criteria. So in this criteria we observed, when condition is true, one block is executing. When condition is false, one particular block is abstracting, and another block is going to be execute. So in this case we say this is a selection statement. So based on this, I am asking you to write some other programs also. Let me list some assignment. So the assignment is for you. So the assignment is, I am giving 3 programs. You can see on the screen. The first program is, write a program to check whether a person is eligible for vote or not. When can we say the person is eligible for vote or not? Means if the age is greater than or equal to 18. So only one condition you need to give. The condition is age is greater than or equal to 18. Then under if you write the person is eligible for vote, otherwise he is not eligible for vote, he or she not eligible for vote. Then the second question I give, write a program to find out biggest of two numbers. During that time I am giving clue, you need to input two numbers. The two numbers are a and b, you declare with some values, and the condition should be like this. The condition is, you give like this, if a is greater than b, this is the condition. When this condition is true, you just display a is big, else b is big. When it comes to the third case, write a program to check whether a number is divisible by a 7 divisible or not. A number a number is 7 divisible or not. This is the question. So when can we say a number is 7 divisible or not? For that, you declare a variable that is a, some value you give it, something like 14 or your wish, any value you can give, and the condition you need to pass like this: a mod 7 is equal to 0, along with if keyword you need to give. Here mod is the operator is used to collect the remainder from this expression, so it returns remainder. So when you divide 14 with 7, 14 by 7, when you do, remainder is 0, but quotient is 2. We don't want quotient, we want remainder, so remainder becomes 0. When 0 is equal to 0, yes, it is a 7 divisible, otherwise it is not 7 divisible. This is the clue for third one. But fourth one, you can observe, write a program to input 3 subject marks out of 100 and check whether the student is pass or fail or not. So you should input 3 values. So take 3 values as a is equal to some value, b is equal to some value, and c is equal to some value. So you should input 3 values, and the condition must be like this: if a is greater than or equal to 35, and even second subject also greater than or equal to 35, and c is also greater than or equal to 35, in all the 3 subjects, if the student get more than 35, then only the student is a pass, otherwise he or she must be fail. So this is the condition we are going to apply for the fourth assignment. So students, so I gave these 4 questions as assignment. You try these programs, and in next session I will speak the next module of selection statements, that is called as else if ladder. Thank you to you all.